carrots pie, and mushy peas.
Hi guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I had this hat on my head all day. I forgot my jacket when I went out walking, right? And I then quickly realised that I had nothing else apart from a hat. And so it's just been literally stuck on my head all day. A strudel. Now you guys know how much I've got a bee in my bonnet about these around the world nights. Just wanted to talk to you guys about what it was, about what is going on with this around the world night. Like, it was just like, we've already seen this before. Like, we have quite literally already seen this before. She did around the world night England, and she basically just copied and pasted it, but she named it around the world night UK. And I'm just gonna say this, like, the UK is made up of different countries. It's not one great big country. It's just not. And I'm not entirely sure if she knows this or not. And I'll, fair enough, if you were to ask me to do like this bloody quiz on the United States and the different states, I would fail. I'd massively fail. But I'm not out here doing around the world night trying to tell me that a full English breakfast is a typical breakfast from the UK, because it's a full English breakfast. She did actually do quite well. I mean, personally, she like fry off some mushrooms. Maybe then, like, for an English breakfast, you do hash browns, like proper hash browns, not like the little carb ones. Hash browns, do it with your bacon. Got some, you can do some fried toast, like fried bread, fried toast, fried bread. Anyway, make it delicious, make it yummy. Do you know what I mean? Like, the hash browns, really lacking on that one. People in the comments literally defending her, being like, oh, it doesn't matter because, you know, she's just trying her best, and why do you guys get so offended and stuff? And it's like, because I don't think this woman realizes that the UK isn't actually a country. Like, the UK is made up of different countries, okay? It's made up of different countries, and Amy's probably going to do a little geography lesson in a minute. But I personally, I live in Wales, and like, I suppose that, yeah, we do eat a lot of like English breakfast over here, but we also eat like different things that are obviously quite Welsh. The stuff we eat is quite similar. We eat quite a lot of lamb. Like, we eat a lot of lamb. We have this really nice thing, and I'll pop it up on the screen if I can remember what it is, but it's basically this like lamb kind of stew, and it's called something quite special. And you're probably out here going, how can you give her, you know, country lessons on the United Kingdom if you don't even know what you're talking about? I only moved here about 4 years ago, I think, and I spend a lot of my time drifting to and from England. Welsh cakes, love a good Welsh cake. There's quite a lot of other different things as well. Anyway, I'll try and get the name of that stew up. Where are my manners? I completely forgot to mention the Welsh rarebit, which is basically like fancy cheese on toast, but instead of just like grilling cheese onto toast, it's like this kind of saucy mixture. It's pretty damn good. The English breakfast, yeah, fine, whatever. But then she then went and she did this bloody thing. I just don't understand why she did it, because it's not high tea. Like, nothing she put out there was high tea. Where are the little crustless sandwiches with the cream cheese and the little bits of cucumber and the little ham sandwiches? Do you know what I mean? Like, put all there, like, cut. We like fondant fancies over here. I'm pretty sure that's quite a British thing. Those little like fondant, I don't like them. Yeah, those kind of things. And then you have like ice buns. Like, ice buns are something that you typically find at a high tea. Is basically literally just like a bun with like a thin layer of, or thickish of like white icing. And then if you have the Belgian bun things, they don't have the little cherry on top. But once again, we're kind of drifting into different kind of territory over here. She decides to whip out Danishes, and the clue is in the name. She's like, here's a strudel, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure strudels are from, I looked it up, it's German or Austrian, like where it actually originates from, but where they mostly have strudels is in Germany, but I think it originated from Austria.
Well, anyways, cupcakes that are now smushed. That was not that exciting. Sprinkled cookies. And then I got some Danishes. And then I got a strudel.
And she was like, oh yeah, and the sprinkle cookies. And I had to, I'm like, what is a sprinkle cookie? I don't know, sprinkle cookies sound American. And there are people in the comment section being like, well, maybe this is what the kids liked eating. And it's like, then why do around the world night? She's doing around the world night United Kingdom, and the only thing she's really catering for is the English. The thing that I looked at and I was like, yeah, are those little like fig things, which I can't stand, but they definitely do exist. But you know, scones, even the thing with the scones, the scones, however you want to say it, even this wasn't right. Like, this wasn't right. And she's like, you guys always come for me, but these are American scones. It's like, do you know what and I have to say English scone, what an English scone is? Literally like the driest ass thing. And I will still stand by the fact that they are kind of dry, because my grandma makes banging ones and even they are slightly dry. But what makes them the moist maker, as Buddy Ross off of Friends would say,
I call it the moist maker.
you have the cream and the jam, and there's this whole like hubbub about, does the jam come first before the cream jam? And it's delicious, and then you put it together, and that's what a scone is. A scone, however posh you are, depends on how you say it. All right, I've always said scone. Some people, my grandma says scone, she says scone. Okay, she's a very, very posh lady. I say scone. But what she pulled out had like little raisins or something in it. And I'm like, no, like, what's the point? Like, go hard or go home.
Europeans always tell me these are not scones, but they are. Just Americanized scones. Smells so good. We have blueberry, chocolate, and vanilla.
Where, like, I think they're completely missing the whole point of like high tea. And the thing is, you can make like high tea fun. Like, I know they're not supposed to be drinking at the minute, but Prosecco. If we're having like high tea, you best believe I'll be popping out the Prosecco and mixing some oranges in it. What is that called again? I'll be having them. What are they called again? Mimosas. Mix that, get unalcoholic mimosa. I know alcohol is obviously a very tricky topic in that household, but whenever we do like high tea or anything, someone's always like, cupcakes are not really a thing. You have like scones, and you have the little like triangle crustless sandwiches on it, and someone might whack out some like sweet treats and stuff like that. But generally it's very, very, very picky. We like quiches. I know this might be a slight but quiches are quite a big one. A lot of people like quiches, and like high tea also, you can have like miniature sausage rolls, or you can have like mini pork pies, stuff like that. That to me is very high tea. Just getting like strudels and danishes, which are not anything to do with the UK really. Anyway, like, yeah, we liked our baked goods, but we like baked goods. Like, if we like baked goods, we're looking for something with meat in it. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Which also come to my, we do have like sweet treats, which are obviously don't have any meat in them, but they're like biscuits or scones or which are very primitively, and I'm gonna say England, because what she did was not the UK. I want to get onto as well, she made this little comment at the end before we get on to whatever the frickety frack was going on with the main, which we haven't actually got. It's 8 minutes or however many minutes it is, we've still not got onto it. She was like, right, we have fish, and then this is the thing, and I had to teach my best friend who is from Colorado, she's American. I actually had to teach her this, and I'm sure a lot of you guys already know this, but the whole chips versus crisps thing. So what might get a little bit confusing, right, is that she was saying, oh, we have fish and these are chips, these are what we call French fries. No.
Fish.
Fish and this.
French fries, which are called chips in Great Britain.
What you guys classify as French fries, we also classify as fries. We don't call them French fries, we go fries, like McDonald's fries, or if you get burger and fries, we would call those fries. Chips are thicker cut, usually served, you can get them in pubs, fish and chip shops, or just like, basically thicker cut, usually a lot of salt, a lot of people put vinegar on it. Like obviously deep fried, you can get them like beer battered, you had them cooked 3 ways, like steak cut chips. Those are chips. What she served was fries. We would call that, I mean, fish and chips, fish and fries don't go. What you want to do is you can actually make your own, and they had that little like outdoor like thing, which actually I thought was quite cool. Everyone hates on it, but I'm like, that's blatantly the least messiest way like cooking. It might be a absolute biatch to clean, but like the deep fat fryer thing they got going on, but in terms of like it being outside and it not splattering everywhere, I'm like, that's actually quite a good idea. No, you don't serve chips like that, which is going to lead us on to our point of contention. I don't know how many. Oh my god. Okay, so she's done this before. She's gone, okay, well, I'm making a shepherd's pie, but actually this isn't a shepherd's pie. This is what you guys would call a cottage pie, because she doesn't have lamb mince. Now, whatever the case may be, you're very, 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 very right. Okay.
All right, so I am making for dinner shepherd's pie. However, I have heard that because I'm making it with ground beef instead of lamb, it's actually called something else that I have to look up. Cottage pie?
You cooked was not a shepherd's pie because she used lamb mince for that. She then goes on to say that her kids don't like lamb. However, the last time, to me, I don't think lamb tastes, especially if it's in something like that, I don't really think, you can taste the difference, yeah, if you've got them side by side, but lamb to me isn't a very like strong taste. Maybe that's just me because I'm used to eating it quite a lot. Living where I live, we eat a lot of lamb out here, like literally Wales, you know, we get a lot of sheep. So lamb is really cheap and really easy to eat around here. She was going on about, oh, my kids don't like it, and I'm like, didn't you try and make this last time but it went a bit wrong? Like, she didn't even know the name of what she was trying to cook. She made a cottage pie. Cottage pie is with beef mince, and it's pretty much made in exactly the same way. You just switch out the meats. Now, before we get onto the fish and chip bit, because the fish and chip bit was actually the least of my problem, you couldn't pronounce Worcestershire sauce, which to be fair is an absolute arse to pronounce.
Oh, any seasonings of choice.
Actually went to try and say it and then went and then just gave up halfway. It's like, just give up. You meant to saute the onions. I would have sauteed onion and garlic, but I know that I've made this quite a few times, so I won't spend a lot of time I don't look from a cookbook. it's one of those things that you just know how to cook, so you don't even bother anymore. Actually started like with her hands, just started mingling about the lamb. Like mingling it about, and she didn't add oil. There was no oil in that pan, or was there? I didn't see the oil. You meant to get the oil hot, and not just that, she literally read it out. Saute the onion. Does she know what sauteing is?
So we're gonna go with ground beef. Get it all together. Oh, I gotta mash up the potatoes. Oh, and saute the onion.
Because what she then did, she went, oh, I was supposed to saute. Oh, I'll just do that after. Does she know what sauteing is? Does she know it's extremely low heat? Oil, garlic, you know, onion, if you're sauteing that, put a lid on it and you're basically like steaming it. You're making it so they start to like wetten up a little bit, but you're not like flat out cooking. Is this making sense? You then add the other bit to it and you've got and you start turning up the heat and you've got a bit of a nicer, warmer pan. Do you see what I mean? And then you can then brown the mince or brown the lamb or whatever the hell you're browning. But she literally cut up the biggest chunk of onion I've ever seen, and she just chucked it on top of this lamb that she'd already been like meandering. I'm like, where's the salt and pepper? Where is the seasoning on this meat? Where is the seasoning? There was no seasoning. There was seasoning like towards the end, and she was like, oh, add your own seasoning. And the woman put butter. She put butter in it.
I hate when I say that because like I want them to tell me exactly what to put in. I don't know what I choose. Tell me. I'll just put a little butter in this. I'm doing this completely backwards if you can tell.
I don't know what else she added. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of like I got onion powder and butter. I don't know what happened, but at that point I was like, oh, for goodness sake. I'm a lazy ass, so what I'll probably do is I'll probably like you get like, I think it's literally like 150 milliliters of like hot beef stock or lamb stock or whichever one you're deciding to make in Alicia's case, and pouring it over when it's like obviously done with your mince, with your garlic, with your onion, blah blah blah, and then you then put in a load of Worcestershire sauce, which is what she was trying to get at, but she just didn't know what the hell, and she did not put in enough. You're supposed to go, I go ham with that Worcestershire sauce. Like, Worcestershire sauce makes these things. I'm not entirely sure, is Liam Perrin's Worcestershire? I'm not entirely sure what is in this Worcestershire sauce, but all I know is that we add it to pretty much a lot of our staple food. It's one of those things we just add a lot to it. also a place called Worcestershire, so that probably is where it comes from. Anyway, beyond the point. And then I don't know why was there sweet corn? What, I know she was just getting like frozen veg, but just put peas, just stick peas or carrots. In my case, I am quite literally run of the mill. I will just get frozen peas, defrost frozen peas, and then put that in. Do you know what I mean? But you don't really need, you don't need the butter, you don't need anything like that. And then of course you just let it sit. It's meant to be a little bit, the consistency, to be fair, I was not sure if she was going to be adding the Worcestershire sauce. I was literally like, if you're not adding Worcestershire sauce, this is not a shepherd or cottage pie. Like, it is, but it's not going to taste the same. And then I was like, she added like cold stock, and you're not supposed to do that. I know, I had the same kind of thing when I was out in America. I was cooking for my friend, and they have like, there's a lot of stock that you get in like, packets, what am I trying to say, like Carson's and stuff, but you're really supposed to add like hot, you know, like beef, lamb stock, that kind of thing. So when I watched her pour it in, I was a bit like, oh, where is this gonna go? And then anyway, the consistency was okay. What I actually tend to do, and I even do this with fish pies, grate a load of cheese it up. I put cheese on the fish pie, shepherd's pie, cottage pie, and lasagna. I feel like I've gone on way too long just talking about my food preferences. I really like cooking. Anyway, but the thing that was happening throughout the whole, and it didn't turn out awful, it wasn't browned enough. Like mashed potato, you got to make it really nice and creamy, and then obviously put it over the top. I'd grate a load of cheese on it, and then I'm pretty sure it needs to be in for like 25 minutes. It doesn't need that much because of course you've already got the bottom bit that's done. It's not like a lasagna where you're waiting for like each individual layer to cook up. Like, this doesn't really take very long. It's a bit like a fish pie, like 25 minutes. Anyway, what I was trying to say, as she was not sauteing the onions, what was happening is that Josh went round the back, was deep frying the fish. The fish didn't look bad, do you know what I mean? They use French fries, which you don't use French fries, you use regular chips from a fish and chip shop, or just, you can literally just go and buy them. But if they're wanting to go buy them, the closest thing would be like steak cut chips. But put loads of vinegar and salt in them. I'm also not going to give us that much airtime because it was an absolute abomination, but she made mushy peas, which was basically water and this like pea gloop. Nothing mushy peas was about that. I don't even think she added any seasoning. I don't know, I'm slightly traumatized by it, but yeah, I know that a lot of people were talking about it. Now, the fish and chips were sitting out for such a long time. Like, she was honestly harshly chopping up the onion when all this was happening, so they would have been like cold fish and chips. I feel like I've literally been talking for so long, but I just watched it and had a knee-jerk reaction. Also, throughout Ribena, I don't know what she did with it. I swear, I hope to golly goodness she diluted a lot of it, because you're literally only supposed to have like less than that, like that much. Like, it's so strong, and the stuff she got was pretty strong. Victoria sponge as well. I'm like, English, it's English, and she's already done around the world night England when monument the Queen's passing. She's now got a king. I have to keep reminding myself about that. I'm like, oh, and the funny thing is, right, any fellow British person, as soon as the Queen died, right, as soon as Lizzie died, Queen Lizzie died, it was literally instant. Like, it went from God save the Queen to God save the King, like within a nanosecond. It was like, oh, out with the old, in with the new. And I was like, my God, you guys are brutal around here. So now I have to keep reminding myself, although they haven't changed the notes yet, I don't think. I just wanted to like bring this out here because I just felt like ranting and raving about the situation at hand with the around the world nights. And to be fair, she does try, but she just doesn't try in the same breath, and then whatever. And the other thing is that the kids, like, how are the kids gonna be eating all that food and then eat the fish and chips? And like, she's cooking 2 main meals on their own. I get that there's like 12 of them, 14 of them, but anyway, hopefully she can do better next time. I don't want her to ever make Yorkshire pudding ever again, and I don't ever want to see her make the fish and chips. Didn't look awful, it's just that she got the French fry chip thing messed up. And then also, yeah, and then also the shepherd's pie that's cottage pie that's not either, isn't great either. Anyway, that's pretty much all I really wanted to say. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch up with you guys in the next video.